20 strikeouts.
United we play, united we win.
And goodbye, home run.
All hits all the time.
We are family.
Max Scherzer, double-digit Ks.
We're busting ours to kick yours.
Fun to watch.
-15.
Respect all, fear none.
Into the upper deck.
Intensity is not a curfew.
Oh, mercy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Playoff baseball on MASN All Access. Welcome to Prince George's Stadium as we cover the Eastern League playoffs. I'm your host, Paul McKenna. We're going to hear from a few players later on, and Steve Molesky of MASNsports.com as the Bowie Baysox begin their potentially best-of-5 series against the Harrisburg Senators. But for now, let's look at Game 1's lineup for tonight. Speedy tandem at the top of the lineup, Cedric Mullins, followed by Ryan McKenna, center field and left field. Then Anderson Feliz, Carlos Perez, catcher. Yusniel Diaz DHing tonight in the 5-hole. Jesse Valentin right after him. Mason McCoy at short. Preston Palmero, and closing out is TJ Nichting. That's the Baysox lineup for tonight. Now let's hear from the head man, Buck Britton, talking before today's game. Eastern League Manager of the Year. What did that mean to you?
It means a lot, something that's voted on by our peers, I guess. But no, it was nice, and it was nice for not only myself to be recognized, but I think that's a token to the coaching staff I have here. April was tough for us. That first half of the season, we could have packed it in, but they continued to show up, work hard, and the players too. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for those guys to continue to grow over the course of the next 5 months when you get off to such a slow start.
And how did you and your coaching staff keep them together through all that slow start?
I don't know the secret sauce. My goal was to create an environment where guys wanted to show up and play, and I think we did a nice job of that as a collective whole. But there's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes. Keith Bodie in the cage and Kenny with the pitchers and Josh, and so it was a collective effort. You
guys set a number of franchise records for the season, and then you were near the top of the league for a lot of other statistics. What does that mean to you to be, to set these franchise records and to put your place kind of in Bowie Baysox history?
Yeah, for me, it's more credit goes to the players. They're the ones who set these numbers. And like I said, where we were in April, for these guys to continue to come out and play the way they did and work the way they did is really impressive.
Buck, that 2015 team that won it here, man, they really wanted to win a championship. What sense do you get from your guys, their mood right now?
Yeah, they're excited for this opportunity. There's a lot of guys in there, and I keep going back to where we were in April, and there's a lot of guys in there that are kind of playing with a chip on their shoulders. I don't think anybody thought we were going to be in this situation in May. So they're excited, and, we're here. We might as well win it.
Development of players is obviously critical. Winning is pretty fun too. I mean, what would it mean to young guys here to do real well the next week or two?
Yeah, you don't get a lot of opportunities to win championships. I played for 9 years in the minor leagues. I never won a championship. I went to the playoffs a couple times. There's guys in that clubhouse that aren't going to play in the big leagues. But this is something where you grind with guys for 5 months. It kind of becomes your family on the road, and just down the road to be able to maybe talk to their grandkids or tell stories about what happened in 2019, I think would be special.
Do you feel like there's going to be, visible increased intensity?
I don't know if there's going to be an increase. I'd like to think that we did a good job over the course of the season. I told the guys today, I don't want you to come out here and play any different than we did for the last 140. Just continue to be yourselves. There's no added pressure. Let's just go out there and play how we've been playing. And just the cards will fall as they may, but we want to be loose and we want to have fun.
Buck, how is Diaz's leg right now?
He's much better. I think he's much better. He's moving much better. I'm excited to see. We had an off day yesterday, kind of regroup. We went 20 days in a row, and so it was nice to get an off day and kind of refresh.
How did his bat evolve and get better over the year?
I think he just became more consistent. I mean, this is a guy who was hitting in the middle of our lineup, and he got off to a slow start and injuries. But he's put in a lot of hard work, and he's really trusted in what Bodie's done with him in the cage. He's bought into it, and I'm excited to see what he can do here this next week.
How exciting is that going into your first playoff game?
Yeah, it was fun. I think going into the second half when we were going well, we had it kind of in the back of our minds, this could be a potential, opportunity for us. And I think that was exciting in itself, and getting to celebrate and all the hard work that we've done this year and as a staff, collectively, I think that we did a good job, and it was fun to celebrate that. So.
In the second half turnaround that you guys had, what was the key? What kept you guys going as you struggled at the beginning of the season, but then you just turned it around? Was that always in you?
Yeah, I mean, we got a very talented ball club, from the get-go. I think, this game's tough. It was cold. Played a good couple ball clubs early in the season, and, sometimes it takes a little bit to get the treads running, but I think we really caught our stride and, came together as a team and united and, played for that main goal of, trying to win ball games. And, it was definitely fun. It was fun during that time.
Ryan, what kind of season has it been for you?
For me, it's just developing. I think making those strides for, in the future and contributing to the Oriole Ball Club and helping them win as well. And, I think I did some things well, but also things I could work on better. And, I continue to do that throughout my career. So I'm hoping next couple years here, or next year will be a good year for me and hopefully be on the Orioles staff. So
what did you do well, and what challenged you?
Yeah, I think, obviously the average isn't where I wanted it to be. It's something that I'm going to work on this offseason to try to be a little more consistent with. I think, some things didn't go my way a lot of the time this year, and that's baseball. So just kind of mentally moving past that and just growing as a player. And, I think I did well in trying to score runs for my team and, getting on base and stealing those bases when I can to get into scoring position. And, a lot of the guys would drive me in. So it was definitely some good and some bad that, it's all part of the game. So
there's definitely some really good numbers in there. Did you learn some things about yourself as a player this year?
Yeah, I think continuing just to use all my tools. I know I contribute in a lot of ways in the game, so I think just continuing to do that is the best of my ability, and trying to maintain that through the longevity of the season. It's a long season, and even in the big leagues they're playing an extra month, and hopefully after that in the playoffs. So just learning how my body feels and going from there.
When you guys started so poorly, what were you thinking and what turned it?
That's a good question. I think we were just kind of in that rut where it's like it seems tough to get out of at the time, but the positivity that the staff brought and our coach, our manager Buck Britton, every day was never down on us, and I think that allowed us to kind of free up and loosen up in the second half and really play our game as a team.
We're now joined by Steve Molesky of MASNsports.com. Steve, you are doing, I feel like, triple duty at this point. Covering the Orioles, you're covering every minor league team, of course, known to man. Now we're in Prince George's Stadium covering the Bowie Baysox. The playoff series you were at several years ago, 2015. They went on to win the championship in that series. What kind of memories do you have of the last time they made a deep playoff run?
Vivid. It was great. It was so much fun here in Bowie. Bowie had never won the Eastern League Championship, and then they won it in 2015, and that's still the only time they've ever won the Eastern League. In the finals, they were behind Reading, 2-1, a Phillies farm team that was stacked. Mm-hmm. All the scouts were here to see Reading, not Bowie, and Bowie won 3-2. As a matter of fact, David Hess pitched a great Game 4 to keep him alive. Mm-hmm. I mean, that team, he was being caught by Chancisco, Mike Yastrzemski, Trey Mancini, Garibez Rosa, long list of guys who have done well and really did well for that team, and it meant so much in Bowie. And those guys wanted to win. Sometimes when you get to the minor league playoffs, it's been a long year. Yeah. It's hot like it is today. Guys just want to get home and see their girlfriend. When can I go home? Yeah. And so sometimes teams don't play well in the minor leagues. That Bowie team wanted to win the championship, and they did. It was kind of special.
And hopefully this team can recapture some of that magic. Different manager, of course, not Gary Kendall, but instead Buck Britton, who did win Eastern League Manager of the Year. He's done a phenomenal job with this team. They were 7-23 back on May 6th. Since then, they've gone 69-41 to capture the second half crown. He's been incredible at the helm here in the second half.
Well, this is the first year the Eastern League has gone to halves, and that saved the Baysox.
Yeah.
Because they started 7-23. Under the old season-long format, they probably would be done after 30 games. But when the calendar turned to the second half, They had already started to win. It was early May, actually, when Mason McCoy got called up from Frederick to Bowie, the shortstop who was tearing it up at Frederick, and he instantly started tearing it up here. And he kind of ignited that team, and then over time that rotation really got cranking. They put up some big pitching numbers this year. So 7-23, they were buried. But they started to win, and then when the second half started, they continued to win, and they won the second half.
And they, of course, set offensive records and pitching records, as mentioned. They set their franchise record in WHIP and ERA. And we'll see Michael Baumann, who was a big part of setting that record tonight. He has been phenomenal, specifically against this Senators team as well.
Yeah, he pitched a no-hitter against this team in mid-July, so we'll see how he does tonight. But, I mean, he's probably the Oriole pitching prospect. Maybe you say Grayson, who has come the farthest within this year, but we already knew Grayson was probably top 100. And Michael Baumann may be that over the winter. I don't know. If he's not, it will be close. So, I mean, the kid's big, strong kid, throws hard, really smart. I think the analytics and all the data they brought to it, he's used that well. And so, I mean, this rotation is really good here in Bowie.
And we will see Mike Elias will be in attendance watching him pitch as well. So I'm sure he'll want to show out, especially for that. It's going to be a good matchup. Kyle McGowan getting the ball for the Senators, who, of course, has some Major League experience for the Nationals. Should be a good game tonight. Steve, you excited?
I am. It's great to be here in Bowie. I mean, the schedule I keep with all the different post-game shows.
I don't know how you're doing it, Steve.
It's been interesting.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to remember what city I'm in today, but I do recognize the field out there.
Yep.
And, I mean, this is a great minor league franchise. I mean, the people, a lot of long-time staffers here who really give a darn about baseball, and they really want to do well again this year. So it'll be fun to see if they can.
Yeah, Major Leagues yesterday, minor leagues today, and then Major Leagues again tomorrow.
Covering
for
the
Steve
American
Molesky.
Legion this weekend.
Steve Molesky of MASNsports.com. Check out his coverage all game long. How exciting is playoff baseball for you?
Es muy entusiasmo, ¿entiende?
Sí, sí. Tengo mucho entusiasmo para jugar en estos playoffs, ya que vinimos muy de abajo en este equipo y ya estamos arriba. Y ya, gracias a Dios, ya estamos en la pelea. Entonces, trabajar fuerte para ganar este campeonato.
He said he's very enthusiastic. They came all the way from being way down. Now we're on top. He said he also gives all the glory to God, and they're excited for a championship.
And you had a good second half as well. How would you evaluate your season personally?
En la media segunda, tú performó muy bien. ¿Y cuál es la razón por tu suceso en la media segunda?
Bueno, trabajé muy fuerte ya para llegar a ese comienzo. Pero estuve como un mes más o menos lesionado, pero gracias a Dios ya estoy bien y seguir para adelante y seguir trabajando.
He said he just kept working, even though he spent a little bit of time injured. He battled back from that, and things happened the way they did. And again, he said, thanks be to God.
How much did the coaching staff and Buck Britton help you this season?
Tu staff, tus coaches, le ayudó mucho en esta temporada?
Sí, los coaches, hermanas, todos me han ayudado mucho en esta temporada larga, ya que Bowie, el entrenador de bateo, me ayudó mucho también en lo que es el bateo y ser un poco más consistente en la caja de bateo.
He said particularly our hitting coach helped him be a lot more consistent as he went along, and he was really grateful for that. And he said all the coaches here are great.
Steve? I was going to ask about that, the offense getting better in the second half. What specifically do you think got better for you?
¿Qué es la razón que el ofenso mejoró en la media segunda de la temporada?
Bueno, la razón es que en realidad todos trabajamos en conjunto, todos trabajamos fuerte, todos entrenamos fuerte para llegar a donde tenemos que llegar, que en sí ya estamos en los playoffs y ahora seguimos trabajando para ganar este campeonato.
He said we just kept working at it, we worked together, and now here we are sitting in the playoffs, and we're just going to keep doing the same thing.
You've said before he understood he would be a little bit of a marked man after the trades last year, being the big key guy in the trades. What has then been like to live with that this year?
No fue el prospecto más sought. No, sorry. Hay otros prospectos en el trade con ¿cuál es tu mentalidad de no el prospecto más mejor del trade?
Bueno, en sí fui el prospecto número 1 de la organización. Bueno, sigo siendo prospecto, estoy en el número 5, pero voy a seguir trabajando para seguir luchando por lo que es la razón que estoy aquí, que es mi carrera, seguir luchando para llegar a grandes ligas, ayudar al equipo grande y seguir para adelante.
He said he's not the number 1 prospect now, but now he's number 5, which gives him a lot of motivation to just keep continuing to do what he's doing. Eyes on the big leagues, even though he wasn't maybe the key prospect in that trade.
That just about does it for our show here from Bowie in Prince George's Stadium. If you're in the area, come down. Come catch Game 1 or Game 2, which is tomorrow night. Hope you enjoy all of our coverage from MASN All Access. I'm your host, Paul Mancano. We'll see you later.